The dragons are here. They have come to New York City. They've appeared in Grand Central Station. Their images have been seen on Rockefeller Center. They have been seen on the ballpark of Citi Field with the New York Mets. They've appeared even in Lower Manhattan near Ground Zero, in the financial district, on Wall Street, the New York Stock Exchange. They've even appeared at John's Pizzeria. They even have their own bagels. And they've appeared on what has stood as the icon of New York City and America, the Empire State Building, towering over New York City by day. And by night, they aren't happy. They appear threatening and dangerous and deadly. This is Jonathan Cahn, and the dragons have arrived. I didn't plan on doing this video, but this is beyond. You can't make this up. You know, I've spoken to you about dragons, or the dragon, in the days past before this happened. And now the dragons have arrived in America. What does it mean? Well, in the natural, we know it's part of a campaign to promote a series. But why people do things is secondary to what they're doing. If you read The Harbinger, you know the 9 ancient signs of judgment that appeared in the last days of Israel before its destruction have reappeared, manifested in America. And those who were a part of their reappearing had no idea what they were doing. They were doing it for totally other reasons. They had no idea what the signs meant. When the Arch of Baal appeared in New York City and then in Washington, D.C., the people who erected it did so for other reasons. They had no idea what they were doing or what the signs signified. So now we have the sign of the dragon. The people who did it to promote their show. But even that, a show called House of Dragons, a show with that name, with dragon in it, a big thing in America. What does this mean? What is a dragon? It's an imaginary beast, but in the Bible, it's a symbol. It's a sign. The word dragon appears in the Bible in the Greek, drakon. It's used to translate a Hebrew word that appears in the Hebrew Scriptures. That Hebrew word for dragon is the word tanim. It can mean dragon. It can mean monster. It can mean creature. It can mean serpent. So the same Hebrew word that means dragon also means serpent. Interesting, because both words, the serpent and the dragon, are used in the Scriptures to describe the enemy, Satan, or in Hebrew, Satan, Hasatan, the opposer. Also translated into Greek, diabolos, from which we get the word devil. At the end of 2023, I was starting to work to write the next book. It was to be the sequel to The Return of the Gods. And that book will come. But the Lord interrupted me. And that right now I had to write another book for this hour, for this year, for this time, for the days ahead. I was in my car. I was actually driving my children to school. And it came to me then, the words, the dragon. And that began my writing of the new book, The Dragon's Prophecy. Israel, the Dark Resurrection, and the End of Days. So I've been working on this book for the first months of this year. And I had no idea, but soon after I started writing the book, the start of 2024 was the new Chinese New Year. What year is this? The year of the dragon. 2024 is the year of the dragon. Right now is the year of the dragon. So the dragon's prophecy will come out in September of this year, September 3rd, 2024, of the year of the dragon. I had no idea. But when I started writing it, it happened. And the people who put up those images and those recreations of the dragons in New York City, they weren't doing it because they're thinking it's the year of the dragon. It just happened to be. It's the coming together of a mystery. There is a mystery linked to the dragon, coming together for now, for such a time as this. And this is what I open up the mystery in the book. In the book of Revelation, it says this: "And another sign appeared in heaven. Behold, a great fiery red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns and 7 diadems on his heads." Who is this dragon in Revelation? The enemy. It goes on to say, the serpent of old, or the ancient serpent, the devil. Just as in the Hebrew, tanim, that word means dragon and serpent at the same time. In the prophecy of Revelation, the dragon is described as being red. Notice something. Look at the image they put up at the New York Stock Exchange. It's a very crucial place. What color is that dragon? Red. In Revelation, it says it had more than one head. Look at that image that appeared on Wall Street. It has more than one head. By the way, that spot where they put up the dragon is where America as a nation was born, as a fully constituted nation, in April of 1789. That's where, to this day, if you go there, there's a statue of George Washington where he was sworn in on a Bible, and the place where he gave the first ever presidential address. And in that address, he gave a prophetic warning. I spoke of it in The Harbinger. He said, "The propitious smiles of heaven can never be expected on a nation that disregards the eternal rules of right and order that heaven itself hath ordained." In other words, if a nation, meaning America, turns from God, away from the eternal rules of God, away from the eternal order of God, any nation that disregards God's laws and God's ways and God's word and God's order, the smiles of heaven, or the blessings of God, will be withdrawn from that nation. That was the warning Washington gave right there. After that, he went with the first government on foot from that place, and he went to a little chapel where he prayed with the first government of America to dedicate America to God. America was dedicated to God in that place on its first day. On September 11th, 2001, America's hedge of protection was lifted. The smiles of heaven lifted. America was struck on 9/11 at Ground Zero. Washington prayed and America was dedicated to God. That's the consecration ground of America at Ground Zero. Ground Zero is America's consecration ground. I shared that in The Harbinger. And the thing is, there's a biblical principle that if a nation turns away from God, its ground of consecration becomes the ground of destruction and judgment. And on that day, on 9/11, what Washington warned about happened in that place. A shockwave went forth from Ground Zero and struck the place where Washington gave that warning of what would happen. It struck Federal Hall, the foundation of Federal Hall, on which Washington stood when he gave that warning. And it put a crack. It cracked the foundation of America's Foundation Day. And now, in that place of America's foundation, they put up an image of a dragon, the symbol of the enemy. You know, New York was the first capital of America, and now it's covered with dragons. They have the words next to the dragon, "All must choose." Yeah, but here it appears to imply all must choose the dragon. So you got the ground on which America began. Now it's marked not by something to do with God, but a dragon, the symbol of the enemy. In the place of our financial prosperity, Wall Street, marked by the dragon. And you have America's iconic skyscraper, the Empire State Building, representing America's power and height and splendor and grandeur and ascent, marked by the sign of the devil, the dragon, all over it, all over New York City. Could it be a warning to a nation that has turned away from God? And New York had a key part in that. You see, when you turn away from God, you turn to something. What you turn to is the dragon. 2024 is the year of the dragon. And the fact that there is now a war in Israel is actually part of the mystery of the dragon. So too, the wave of anti-Israel mania that swept the world and swept America, that's also part of the mystery of the dragon. So too what is happening in Iran. So too what is happening in Russia. So too what's happening in the Middle East. The sign of the dragon. And one of the signs, there are signs also appearing right now, linked to the one that the Bible calls the beast or the Antichrist, which are already in the world. It's happening now. The sign of the dragon, because the beast is linked to the dragon. And these are some of the mysteries I'm opening up in the dragon's prophecy. The mystery of the dragon. It's actually behind events in our world, even specific events in our midst right now. The mystery is determining events literally down to their exact timing. It was here in this building where I'm recording this, in Beth Israel, in northern New Jersey, in Wayne, New Jersey, that I shared a mystery that actually foretold what would happen in Israel, the invasion that would shock the world. It would foretell that invasion down to the exact year, the exact month, the exact week, and the exact day. And I shared it here the very night before it was about to happen. That too is part of the mystery of the dragon. It may reveal specific events that are yet to happen and tell us when. What are the dragon's strategies? What are the dragon's plans? What is his strategy and plan regarding your life? What do you need to know to overcome it? This is what the dragon's prophecy is going to reveal. Now, there's so much to share. I'll give you updates in the days ahead. It's getting closer to the release. I didn't plan to do this one, but it just happened. You cannot plan these things, I was talking about the dragon before, and then this happened. The signs are all coming together. So the dragon's prophecy comes out September 3rd, 2024. In the year of the dragon, didn't plan it. If you have not yet ordered your own copy, many people are ordering. You can do it, in fact, more than any book I've ever written. You can do it wherever you get books, online or at any store. But right now, if you just Google the Dragon's Prophecy, you'll see it. If you order it now, you're going to most likely be the first to see it, to open it, to get it. Now, I want to show you the new trailer for the Dragon's Prophecy, especially for you who haven't seen it yet. But watch carefully, because I believe you're going to spot some dragons, and which I put up like a week before, and now it's happening in New York. I'll be back at the end with a word for you.
Is there more to the world than meets our eyes? Another realm that's transforming our world at this very moment? Is there an ancient vision that unlocks what is really happening to our world and tells us what is yet to come? A dangerous force from ancient times that is now operating in the world and determining the course of world events. Did a 3,000-year-old mystery actually foretell the invasion of Israel by Hamas, down to the year and even the exact date? Is there a secret to the book of Revelation that reveals what is taking place right now? After 8 New York Times bestsellers, Jonathan Cahn now releases his newest stunning blockbuster, The Dragon's Prophecy, Israel, the Dark Resurrection, and the End of Days. For the first time ever, Jonathan Cahn will open up end-time prophecy to reveal the mystery behind the end of the age and what is now happening before our eyes, even the hidden keys to victory in light of what's coming, and how to overcome the dragon. The Dragon's Prophecy will reveal the long-hidden secret of the last days, the Dark Resurrection, the colors of the apocalypse, the return of the Sea People, the Black Sabbath, the inverted angel, the 2315th day, the beast, and much, much more. What does the future hold? What do you need to know? And what about the dragon? Just when you thought Jonathan Cahn's books couldn't get more explosive, comes The Dragon's Prophecy, Israel, the Dark Resurrection, and the End of Days. It will change the way you see the world. It will open your eyes and blow your mind. The Dragon's Prophecy, the book you can't afford not to read. Available everywhere books are sold.
Okay, did you spot the dragons? Well, listen, it's coming out in a little over 2 months. It's going to be out. Now, again, if you haven't already gotten it, just go anywhere online where you get books and just type it in and you'll get it, okay? And for people in your life. Now, I want to give you a word of encouragement. In the same chapter of Revelation that speaks of the dragon, it says this: they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, the word of their testimony, and loving not their lives to death. Who's they? Us, the people of God. Who's him? The dragon. They overcame him. He didn't overcome them. I mean, it talks about a great warfare in the last days. It's going to increase. But they, in the end, they overcame him. If you're a believer, if you're following Messiah, Jesus, the Lamb, you are on the winning side. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You are on the winning side. It says they overcame him by his power, the blood. He's more powerful, far more powerful. And by their word of their testimony, and saying, hey, I don't care if my life is God's. Whatever happens, if I live or die, I am the Lord's. I'm going all out for God. You can't be stopped. You are on the winning side if you're following God. If you're not, you got to get on there. You're on the losing side if you're not following God. But if you follow God, you're on the winning side no matter what. And you will prevail. And I talk about that too, how to do it. There's actually a secret. There's a secret that, I don't know if it's ever been shared, about overcoming in a very, very cool thing, end time thing. All right. Now, listen, I'll give you more in the days ahead. And of course, prophetic messages, teachings, and words and updates on this channel. To not miss any of them, click subscribe. And until then, this is Jonathan Kahn saying, stay strong in the Lord and in the power of his might. And watch out for that dragon. But you are victorious. I'll see you soon. God bless you, and shalom. Hi, I'm Jonathan Kahn, and I hope you were blessed with the video. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time a new video is posted. Feel free to share your reactions with your comments and how you were blessed, and share this video with your friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.